Welcome to Casa's Book Nook. Today, joining us is Ludwig, and we're going to read a book by my favorite author and illustrator. This is Enigma by Graham Base, and if you look, one of the reasons we picked it is it's got a Harlequin macaw in this story, and it's really cool. This book also has a game, which I'll tell about it once we get to the right page. I hope you enjoy it. There's so many fun things to do in this book as I read along, and hopefully Ludwig helps us out. All right, Enigma, a magical mystery. Young Birdie Badger's grandpa was a conjuring of note, with magic spells and magic wand and magic hat and coat, a master of illusion and ambassador of fate, the famous one and only world-renowned Gadzooks the Great. From London to the Spanish Steps, from Prague to Kathmandu, then on to the Antipodes and back through Timbuktu. For 50 years he wowed the crowds and roundly been admired, but now he lived a quiet life. Gadzooks the Great retired. All right, so hey, good boy. His magic would lay idle on the bookshelf by the door, his hat and cape beside it, neither worn much any more. For nowadays old Grandpa's tricks were save for one alone, the grandson he adored so much, young Birdie Badgerstone. But on the days that Birdie came, the shadows leaped and twirled, and Grandpa Badger's living room became a different world. Gadzooks the Great was back again, and Birdie clapped and cheered, as charms were laid and spells were cast, and rabbits disappeared. One day when Birdie came along to watch the magic show, he found old Grandpa waiting with a tale of grief and woe. It looks as though our little show cannot go on, he said, for someone has been up to tricks. He sadly shook his head. It seemed that all the residents had woken up that day to find their special magic props had somehow gone astray. My top hat, cape, and wand have gone, but there is worse to tell. My precious magic bunny rabbits disappeared as well. Don't worry, Birdie said at once. I'll solve this, have no fear, for magic things that vanish almost always reappear. Until I find them, everyone, I swear I shall not rest. Then Birdie hugged his grandpa and set off upon his quest. Now, starting on this page, they said the magic bunny rabbit disappeared. He is hiding on every page. So, when I show you the pictures, feel free to pause the video and see if you can try and find the bunny rabbit that's hiding. The first up was the Bear of Wrath. His real name was Vlad, apprenticed to a carpenter when he was just a lad. His special trick was sawing whole babushka dolls in two and magically repairing them without the aid of glue. Poor Vlad had lost a favorite doll he carved with loving care. Young Birdie couldn't find it, though he searched most everywhere. Bill Bison lived at number 2, a card sharp from the south, with shaggy head and shaggy beard and shaggy bison mouth. He cut the cards for years aboard the Santa Fe Express. With Lady Luck beside him, it was first class, nothing less. I played the game. Sometimes I lost, most other times I won. But now my Queen of Hearts is gone. My dealing days are done. The next up was the monkey house. Young Birdie ventured in, and all at once felt giddy as his head began to spin. 3 cheeky rascals, experts on the jungle gym trapeze, swung wildly through the vines that hung in loops from all the trees. The monkey's trick involved a set of interlocking rings, but these were marked as missing on the list of magic things. Now Birdie knocked at number 4, but silence reigned supreme. The door swung open soundlessly as if it were a dream. For this was where Miss Poodle lived, the Mademoiselle of Mime, and for an hour, without a sound, she acted out the crime. Though Bertie thought she lost her voice, why else the long charade? It turned out that her ball and cups had somehow been mislaid. Miss Pollyanna Parapout, the goddess of Caracas, was nothing if not colorful. She even played maracas. She wowed the Venezuelan club some 30 years ago, where every night her plumage and percussion stole the show. Her trick was reading minds, but now her own had gone astray. "Poor Polly's lost her crackers," was the only thing she'd say. That's the beautiful Harlequin. Hi. Room 6 belonged to Human Flu, Lord Pandemonium, who'd picked up levitation from his flying panda mum. He once had raised the Chinese wall, a miracle, but then he dropped it on the Emperor's foot and never worked again. His power came from 3 jade bells he kept beneath his gown, but now that they were missing, all his spells came crashing down. So if you look, you can see things broken on the bottom because they're all crashing down. Alright. Room 7 was a chamber filled with incense and perfume, adorned with rugs and swathes of silk that swept across the room. And here Mistress Hypnosis wove her ancient magic spell, possessed of an enduring charm that time could not dispel. Her powers of persuasion, once the wonder of the age, had failed her since her mystic sphinx of sleep had been mislaid. At number 8, our gallant badger nearly came to grief. The mystic Maharaja thought that Bertie was the thief. "So, steal my magic rope, would you? I met your type before. A toothless tiger I may be, but listen to my roar!" Our hero backed away in fright, but Grandpa heard the noise and saved him from becoming one of Tiger's torn-up toys. Poor Birdie sat in Grandpa's room, the last one that was left, and knew the magic show was doomed. He failed to solve the theft. Old Grandpa sat there sadly. "How I miss my long-eared friend. To think that after all these years, our show is at an end." We toured the world, we hit the heights of floppy ears and eye. A double act, a partnership. He sighed a heartfelt sigh. Then Birdie heard a snuffle and a muffled voice that said, "Don't cry," and Grandpa's rabbit crawled from underneath the bed. "Enigma!" Grandpa cried with joy. "Enigma, is it you? I thought that you were gone for good. I can't believe it's true." He held him close and cuddled him, while Birdie gave a cheer. "Now tell me all that happened. How you came to disappear." But as old Grandpa looked at him with fondness and relief, the rabbit hung its head in shame and whispered, "I'm the thief." The badgers were lost for words. The thief? But how? But why? And so Enigma told him, with a sniffle and a sigh. "For all my life I've been the one who jumped out of the hat. I ask myself, why always me? What's good and fair in that? Just once before the curtain falls, could I not cast a spell, and wear the magic hat and cape, and wave the wand as well?" And so I took the magic things to help with my routine, the most amazing rabbit that the world has ever seen. But everything I borrowed has just vanished in thin air. I hid them all so carefully, I can't remember where. I even wrote a list. He held a sheet for them to see. It's all in secret code. But now I can't recall the key. So if you look, he is holding his list, and it's in a code. And so the mystery is still a mystery of where all the items are. Dear friend, said Grandpa kindly, what you say is only right. I've hogged the stage for long enough. It's time you had your night. And Bertie added, goodness knows where all those things have gone, but now we need replacements. There's a show that must go on. He opened up his school bag with a cheeky badger grin. This bag has special powers. Who can say what lies within? Behold, I've got a magic wand, enchanted rope, 5 rings. There's everything we need, a brand new set of magic things. Gadzooks, cried Grandpa, what a trick! His voice rang down the hall. My clever grandson is the best magician of us all. And so the magic show was saved. In fact, it hit new heights. And all of Grandpa's friends joined in, a magic night of nights. But best of all, the grand finale, starring someone new, Enigma the Incredible, and Magic Birdie too. That evening, heading homeward in the hush that nighttime brings, a grandpa and his grandson talked of wild and wondrous things. For magic doesn't lie in wands or funny hats to wear. It only takes someone to dream and someone else to share. They journeyed on through mystic realms as great magicians should. Come visit soon, old grandpa said, and Bertie said he would. The Thank you for joining us for Casa's Book Nook. Ludwig did a wonderful job joining us in our story. And we have a few more that we're hoping to post after this one, right? So, bye! Hope everyone's having fun at home.